What if? What if? I told you that right now, in this very moment, you already possess the power to step into a life of abundance, where millions flow effortlessly to you. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I invite you to embrace a truth that has always been within you, a truth that has waited patiently for your recognition. You have wandered through life seeking signs, waiting for permission, hoping for external validation. But I tell you now, your time has come. The moment is not ahead of you. It is not something you must chase. It is here, now, in this very breath. You have been conditioned to believe that time is something linear, that success is something that gradually unfolds, that wealth is something earned through toil and struggle. Yet I urge you to cast aside these illusions. The abundance you seek does not lie in the distant future. It is already yours. You are not moving toward it. You are simply awakening to it. The moment you accept this, you will see it unfold before your very eyes. There is no force outside of you that determines your success, no unseen hand that withholds or grants fortune at its whim. Everything that you are, everything that you shall ever be, exists in the unseen realm of your imagination. The riches of the world are not held in banks, in vaults, or in financial institutions. They are held in consciousness. Your consciousness is the sole reality, and the state you occupy dictates the life you experience. Have you not noticed that those who possess great wealth seem to carry an air of expectancy? They do not doubt their riches. They do not question whether they deserve them. They assume, as naturally as they breathe, that abundance is their rightful state. And because they assume it, it is so. Their secret is not effort, it is not labor, it is not the accumulation of knowledge or the connections they have made. Their secret is a state of being, a deep, unwavering conviction that wealth is already theirs. If you wish to experience this same abundance, you must not seek wealth. You must not long for it, chase it, or wait for it to come. You must assume it. You must step into the feeling of already possessing it. You must walk through life knowing, beyond all doubt, that you are already the one who has what you desire. The mind that waits for evidence will wait forever, for the world is only a reflection. It can only show you what you are willing to assume as true. There is nothing to earn, nothing to prove. The universe does not require you to justify your worthiness. It does not test you, nor does it hold back your blessings. It merely mirrors back to you the state you most consistently occupy. If you persist in the belief that wealth is coming, you affirm that it is not yet here. But if you dare to claim it now, if you dare to feel it real in this moment, the world has no choice but to conform. You do not need to understand how it will unfold. The logical mind will demand explanations, will seek reassurance, will ask how something so vast can be brought into being, but the how is not your concern. The ways and means will reveal themselves in perfect order, in ways you cannot foresee, through paths you would never expect. Your only task is to remain faithful to the assumption that it is already done. Do not allow the senses to deceive you. The outer world is merely the echo of past assumptions. What you see before you today is nothing more than the residue of yesterday's thinking. If you judge by appearances, you will remain trapped within them. If you look to the world for proof, you will find only confirmation of your old beliefs. But if you dare to look beyond what is seen, if you dare to believe in what is yet unseen, then you shall call it forth into being. Your time has come, not tomorrow, not next year, now. The only thing that has ever stood between you and the life you desire is the belief that it is still ahead of you. Release that belief. Let go of the idea that you must wait, that you must strive, that you must earn. Assume now that you are already the one who possesses all that you seek. Walk as that person. Think as that person. Feel as that person. And soon you shall live as that person. There is no power that can deny you but yourself. The world is not against you. Circumstances are not your master. You are the operant power. You are the creator. The moment you accept this truth, the floodgates will open and the abundance that has always been yours will rush forth into your experience. Stand firm in this knowledge. Do not waver. Do not allow doubt to creep in and steal what is already yours. Persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let it saturate every fiber of your being. Let it shape your words, your actions, your thoughts. Let it be your constant companion, your silent knowing, your unshakable reality. And as you do, the world will shift. Doors will open where none seem to exist. Opportunities will arise in ways that defy reason. What once seemed distant will become inevitable. And in that moment, you will look back and realize it was never about waiting. It was never about striving. It was always about awakening. Your time has come. There exists within you a power so vast, so limitless, that to fully grasp its magnitude would be to hold the key to all creation. It is not something outside of you, not something distant, nor something to be obtained through effort or struggle. It is already here. It has always been here. The teachings of the ages have pointed to it, the sacred texts have hinted at it, and those who have mastered life have lived by it. But only those who dare to believe in its reality will ever unlock its full potential. The world has taught you to look outward, to measure your success by what you see, to gauge your progress by external circumstances. Yet this is the great illusion. The truth is that all things, seen and unseen, first exist within. Wealth, success, opportunity, these are not separate from you. They are not goals to be pursued. They are states of being, reflections of consciousness. To manifest them, one must not reach outward, but inward. The mind conditioned by the world believes that success is the result of action, of chance, of the right opportunities appearing at the right time. Yet observe those who effortlessly attract abundance. They do not strive. They do not chase. They assume. They walk with the quiet certainty of those who know that what they desire is already theirs. They do not question. They do not doubt. They live in the conviction that what they have seen within must be made manifest without. This is the great secret, that imagination is the only reality. The world you experience is nothing more than the crystallization of the states you have most often occupied. If you see lack, it is because you have entertained the thought of lack. If you experience struggle, it is because you have accepted struggle as real. Yet if you dare to assume wealth, if you dare to feel the certainty of financial abundance, if you dare to believe, not as a hopeful wish, but as an undeniable fact, then it must become your reality. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to step into the state of being where all things are possible. This is not a passive exercise, not idle dreaming, but a deep and living awareness that what is imagined is real. To the one who understands this truth, the senses no longer dictate reality. The world of appearances holds no power, for it is recognized as nothing more than a reflection of past assumptions. Nothing is ever created in the outer world first. Every fortune, every success, every achievement has its origin in an unseen state. Those who understand this principle do not waste time looking to circumstances for confirmation. They do not ask, when will my wealth arrive? For they know that the question itself affirms separation from it. Instead, they assume it is already done. They live in the end. They carry themselves as one who has already received. And because they do, the world has no choice but to conform. The mind that waits for evidence will wait forever. The mind that needs reassurance will find none. But the mind that boldly assumes, that fully embodies the state of wealth, will see its reflection in due time. This is law. It is unbreakable, undeniable, unchangeable. The one who possesses millions in consciousness will, in time, possess millions in form. The one who assumes poverty will experience poverty, no matter the external effort exerted. To change the world, one must first change self. To attract abundance, one must first embody abundance. There is no need to figure out the how, for the how is not the concern of the one who knows. The ways and means will unfold in perfect order, and what once seemed impossible will become inevitable. The world is a mirror, reflecting back only what is entertained within. To demand proof before belief is to place effect before cause, to wait for the image to change before adjusting the reflection. But to the one who understands, proof is unnecessary. The evidence is within, the reality is already assumed, and what is assumed must become visible, for assumption is the very substance of creation. The question is not whether abundance is possible, but whether it is accepted. The riches of the world are not withheld. They are not reserved for the few. They are freely available to all who dare to claim them. But to claim them is not to wish, nor to beg, nor to hope. It is to know. It is to stand firm in the conviction that what is seen within must be seen without. To those who grasp this, the world is no longer a place of uncertainty. It is no longer a place where success is determined by chance or effort alone. It becomes a realm of absolute certainty, where every desire is but an assumption away. Those who truly live by this principle do not ask, will it come? They walk as though it is already here. They spend as though they have already received. They move with confidence, with assurance, with the unshakable belief that what they hold in mind is more real than anything they see before them. And so, to those who seek, the answer is simple. Assume the feeling now. Do not wait. Do not look for confirmation. Do not ask for proof. Simply be. Occupy the state of wealth, of success, of financial freedom, and persist in it until it hardens into fact. The world will call it coincidence. The doubters will say it is luck. But those who know, those who have lived this truth, understand that it is law. And those who dare to believe in its reality will find that there is no limit to what can be achieved. There is a power within that shapes the course of life, a force so absolute that it governs every experience, every encounter, every circumstance. It is not chance, not fate, not the workings of an external force deciding who shall prosper and who shall struggle. It is the unseen yet ever-present force of imagination, the silent architect of reality. To understand this is to hold the key to unlimited abundance, for the wealth of the world is not in the hands of the few, not locked away in hidden vaults, but freely available to the one who dares to assume its possession. The error most make is in believing that wealth is something to be pursued, that abundance is something to be worked for, earned, or granted by the external world. This is the great illusion, for all things begin and end in consciousness. The one who sees wealth as something separate from self, something that must be acquired through labor alone, will forever struggle. The one who understands that all creation begins within, that imagination is the source of all manifestation, will find no limits to what may be received. The world reflects only that which is assumed to be true. It does not judge. It does not withhold. It does not grant favors. It simply mirrors the dominant state of mind. The one who believes in lack will find lack at every turn. The one who assumes struggle will encounter endless obstacles. But the one who assumes wealth, who fully embodies the state of financial abundance, will see it unfold in ways beyond comprehension. This is not wishful thinking, not idle fantasy, but a law as certain as gravity. The mind that persistently assumes a state will see its reflection in due time, for assumption is the only reality. The senses deceive, for they show only the past, the outpictured results of former assumptions. To look at the world for proof of wealth before assuming it within is to delay its manifestation indefinitely. The mistake is in believing that the outer world precedes the inner state. In truth, the inner state comes first, and the world must conform. The one who waits for evidence of prosperity before believing in it will wait forever. But the one who assumes its reality now, who lives and moves in the conviction that it is already done, will see the world rearrange itself. The great secret is that imagination creates reality. The images held in mind, the feelings deeply impressed upon the subconscious, these are the blueprints of experience. There is no force outside that determines the outcome, only the unseen power within. To assume the state of wealth, to dwell in the feeling of already possessing it, is to set into motion the unseen forces that bring it forth. The world is not separate from the mind that perceives it. It is its reflection. Change the assumption, and the reflection must follow. The difference between those who live in abundance and those who struggle is not found in their background, their education, or their opportunities. It is found in their assumptions. The wealthy do not question their wealth. They do not wonder if it will last or if they are worthy of it. They assume it as their natural state. And because they do, it remains. The one who seeks to step into this same abundance must do the same. Assume it now, claim it within, and persist in the feeling of already being the one who possesses all that is desired. There is no need to seek opportunities, for they will present themselves in perfect order. There is no need to struggle, for struggle is the mark of one who believes that success comes from effort alone. The one who understands that imagination is the only reality moves through life with confidence, knowing that what is felt as real within must take form without. The means will unfold, the path will become clear, but only to the one who first assumes the state desired. To doubt is to delay. To question is to remain in separation. The one who fully accepts the reality of their assumption will see no need for external proof, for the proof is already within. Walk as though it is done. Think from the state of already having, and let the world confirm it in its own time. The wealth of the world is not scarce, not reserved, not out of reach. It is as available as the air that is breathed, as abundant as the sunlight that touches all alike. The only barrier is the assumption held. The time for waiting has passed. The time for seeking, striving, hoping. These are the thoughts of one who believes that abundance is still ahead. But the truth is that it is here now, waiting to be claimed. Assume it, believe it, persist in the feeling, and watch as the world reshapes itself in response. The imagination is the seed of all creation, and the assumption held most consistently will always become the life that is lived. The great mystery of life is not in the struggle to achieve, nor in the effort to accumulate. It is in the realization that all that is desired is already present, already available, already waiting to be claimed. The world teaches that one must labor for success, that wealth is a product of external action, that security is built upon years of effort. Yet, to those who understand, it is clear that this is only the illusion of the senses. Reality is not shaped by work alone, but by the assumptions held within. The true source of abundance is not found in the world, but in the power of imagination. There is nothing to earn, nothing to chase, nothing to fight for. The only task is to assume the feeling of already possessing what is desired. The one who sees wealth as a distant goal will forever keep it in the future. The one who assumes it as present, as already attained, will see it unfold effortlessly. The law is simple. What is felt as real within must become real without. The subconscious mind accepts every assumption as truth and rearranges the world accordingly. It does not question, it does not doubt, it does not reason. It simply creates. To live in the end is to abandon all thoughts of waiting, all ideas of preparation, all belief in separation from the goal. It is to fully occupy the state of already having. There is no need to wonder when or how, for these questions arise only from a mind that still believes in lack. The one who knows walks in confidence, not because of visible evidence, but because of an unshakable inner conviction. What is assumed must come to pass, for there is no power that can prevent an imagined reality from becoming visible. The senses will attempt to deceive, for they only reflect the past. They show only what has been assumed before. the outpictured results of prior beliefs. To trust them is to remain bound by the old state, to live in the shadow of yesterday's thoughts. But to look beyond, to see with the inner eye, to accept what is unseen as more real than what is seen, that is the path to transformation. The one who masters this principle no longer reacts to circumstances, no longer waits for conditions to change, but simply assumes the change and lets the world conform. Wealth is not something that arrives. It is something that is claimed. It is not a prize to be won, but a state of consciousness to be accepted. The moment it is assumed, it begins to take shape in ways beyond understanding. The world moves, events shift, opportunities appear, but none of this happens by force. It happens because consciousness has already declared it to be so. The mind that knows its own power does not seek evidence, for it understands that the outer world is a mere echo of the inner state. There is no need to concern oneself with how things will come to pass. The means are always provided in ways that could never be predicted. The world will call it coincidence, will attribute it to luck. But those who understand know that nothing happens by chance. The path unfolds because the destination has already been assumed. The outer world is secondary. It is the shadow of the inner world. To attempt to change the shadow while leaving the source untouched is to labor in vain. To assume the state of wealth is to feel the security, the freedom, the joy of already possessing it. It is to move through the world with the assurance of one who lacks nothing. This is not imagination in the sense of idle dreaming. It is the only reality. The one who holds this assumption unwaveringly, who refuses to be moved by appearances, who remains faithful to the unseen, will see the manifestation with absolute certainty. Many fail not because they do not wish to succeed, but because they do not persist in the assumption of success. They allow doubt to enter. They look to the world for confirmation. They react to circumstances instead of commanding them. But the one who remains firm, who refuses to waver, who lives in the end as though it is already done, will find that the world has no choice but to reflect that certainty. The principle is unchanging. There is no special case, no exception, no one who is excluded. The law operates for all, but only those who understand it can use it consciously. There is no favor, no luck, no divine selection. There is only assumption made real. The one who assumes greatness becomes great. The one who assumes poverty remains poor. The world simply mirrors what is most deeply believed. To those who hear and apply this, there is no limit to what may be attained. The only question is whether one dares to believe, whether one dares to live from the end, to ignore appearances, to persist in the unseen reality until it becomes visible. The power to create is not outside. It has never been outside. It is within, waiting only to be accepted, waiting only to be used. There is a power within that transcends all limitations, a power that governs the unfolding of life with absolute precision. It is not a force that must be earned, nor is it something that favors one over another. It is the very essence of being, the unseen yet ever-present force that shapes reality. To recognize this power is to unlock the key to all things desired. For the world outside is nothing more than the reflection of what is held within. The mistake most make is in believing that change comes from action alone, that effort and struggle are the determining factors of success. Yet look closely, and it becomes clear that many who labor tirelessly find themselves moving in circles, while others who seem to act with ease experience abundance beyond measure. The difference is not in what is done, but in the state of being from which one operates. The world is a mirror, reflecting not effort, but assumption. To assume wealth is to make it inevitable. To assume success is to see it unfold in ways beyond comprehension. The external world does not create, it only reveals. It shows only what has been accepted as true within. If one believes in lack, no amount of effort will bring lasting prosperity. If one assumes limitation, no opportunity will be enough. But if one dares to claim abundance, to feel the certainty of already possessing all that is desired, then the world must conform. Imagination is the true source of reality. That which is vividly felt within will always find expression without. The one who sees financial freedom as something distant will forever chase it. But the one who assumes its reality now, who lives and breathes the feeling of already having, will see it take shape effortlessly. There is no need to ask how, for the how is determined by the assumption itself. The path will appear, the circumstances will shift, the opportunities will arise, but only to the one who has already claimed the end result in mind. The senses will attempt to deceive, to convince that what is seen now is the truth, that circumstances dictate what is possible. But the truth is that what is seen is only the reflection of past assumptions. To change life, one must go beyond appearances and dare to accept what is unseen as real. The one who masters this principle no longer reacts to the world but commands it. There is no waiting, no hoping, no longing, only knowing. Wealth is not something that must be pursued. It is a state of consciousness that must be accepted. Those who possess it do not wonder if they will continue to prosper. They assume it as natural. They do not doubt. They do not fear, for they live in the conviction that abundance is their rightful state. To achieve this same reality, one must think from the place of already having, rather than from the place of seeking. The mind that waits for proof will wait forever. The mind that demands evidence before believing will find none. But the mind that assumes, that boldly claims its desire without hesitation, will see the world reshape itself in response. This is law. It does not change, it does not fail, it does not favor one over another. It simply operates according to what is most deeply believed. To dwell in the feeling of already having is to set the unseen forces into motion. It is to move through the world not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. It is to speak, act, and think from the end, with full confidence that what is assumed must become real. The question is never whether it will happen, but only whether one will remain faithful to the assumption long enough to see it unfold. Many falter because they allow doubt to enter. They react to circumstances. They seek confirmation before committing fully to their belief. But the one who persists, who refuses to be moved by appearances, who remains unwavering in the assumption of already being the one they wish to be, will find that all things align in their favor. Events will shift, opportunities will emerge, but these are only the effects. The true cause was the assumption held from the beginning. There is no force outside that determines fate. There is no luck, no randomness, no external power that grants or withholds. The only creator of experience is imagination, and the only requirement for manifestation is the assumption of already having. The riches of the world, the success that seems so distant to many, are not withheld. They are waiting to be claimed. The one who understands this no longer struggles, no longer waits, no longer wonders. They assume, and because they assume, they receive. The world will call it luck, will call it coincidence, but those who have lived this truth know otherwise. They know that everything begins in the unseen, that what is felt as real within must take form without. To those who grasp this, there is no limit to what may be achieved. The only barrier is belief. The only question is whether one will accept the truth of imagination or remain bound by the illusion of the senses. The world you see is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. Everything that appears in your life, every circumstance, every relationship, every opportunity is simply the imagining of what has been most consistently assumed within. There is no external force determining your fate, no power outside of you shaping your reality. The only creator of experience is the imagination, and it is always at work, whether consciously directed or left to the influence of past conditioning. To live a life of abundance, one must first accept abundance as the only reality. This is not done by hoping, nor by wishing, nor by waiting for circumstances to improve. It is done by assuming, by stepping into the state of already having, already being, already possessing. The one who walks in the certainty of wealth will see it unfold effortlessly, while the one who doubts, who waits for proof, will find only delay and disappointment. The world does not give based on effort. It gives based on assumption. The greatest mistake is to believe that conditions must change before one can feel the reality of the desired state. Those who understand the law know that conditions are the effect, never the cause. To look at the world for confirmation is to remain trapped by it, for it can only reflect the assumptions previously held. To change the world, one must first change within. The assumption of being wealthy must be accepted as fact before it can be experienced as reality. The senses will always attempt to deceive. They will show what has been, not what can be. To rely on them for confirmation is to delay the manifestation of the desired state indefinitely. The one who truly understands does not need the world to prove anything. They prove it to themselves by assuming it now, by feeling it real, by dwelling in the certainty of already possessing all they desire. It is not a matter of if, nor of when, but of accepting now as the moment of fulfillment. Imagination is the seed of all creation. That which is imagined with feeling, that which is assumed with conviction, must take shape in the outer world. There is no force that can prevent it, for the world has no choice but to mirror the dominant assumption. This is not a philosophy, it is law. It operates for all, whether known or unknown, whether consciously applied or unconsciously accepted. The difference between those who live in abundance and those who struggle is not found in effort, nor in intelligence, nor in opportunity, but in the assumptions they hold about themselves and their world. The wealthy assume wealth as natural. They do not question whether they will continue to prosper. They know. They do not wonder how it will come. They trust. They do not look to circumstances for proof. They create proof by assuming it is already done. The one who seeks to attain this same level of freedom must do the same. To think from the place of already having, rather than from the place of wanting, is to align with the reality of abundance. There is no need to chase opportunities, for they will appear. There is no need to struggle, for struggle is only the result of an assumption of difficulty. The one who believes that success is hard will find endless obstacles, while the one who assumes ease will find doors opening without effort. The difference is not in the external world, but in the state of consciousness from which one operates. The world is not separate from the mind, it is shaped by it. To assume the feeling of already having is to set unseen forces into motion. Paths will open, people will appear, ideas will flow, but none of these are the cause. They are only the means through which the assumed state takes form. The real cause is the assumption itself, the inner conviction that what is imagined is real. The mind that grasps this no longer reacts to appearances, no longer seeks proof, no longer waits for change. It creates change by assuming the desired state now. The question is never whether abundance is possible, but whether it is accepted. There is no limit to what can be received, only to what is believed. The riches of the world, the success that seems so distant to many, are not kept from anyone. They are waiting to be claimed by those who understand that the only requirement is the assumption of already possessing them. The mind that accepts this moves with confidence, speaks with authority, acts with certainty, not because of what is seen, but because of what is known. The world will call it luck, will attribute it to circumstance, will seek to explain it through logic. But those who have lived this truth know otherwise. They know that every fortune, every success, every manifestation first existed in imagination before it took form. There is no randomness, no chance, no external factor determining results. There is only assumption made real. To those who accept this, life becomes a realm of limitless possibility, where every desire is already fulfilled, waiting only to be recognized and claimed. The truth has always been simple. Reality is nothing more than the reflection of what is most consistently assumed within. There is no external force dictating the course of life, no fate determining who shall prosper and who shall struggle. The only creator of experience is imagination, and it operates with absolute certainty. Those who understand this principle no longer wait for change, no longer seek proof in the outer world, but seeing their desires as already fulfilled, knowing that the world must conform. Wealth, success, abundance. These are not things to be pursued, but states of being to be accepted. The one who claims them within will see them unfold effortlessly, while the one who doubts, who waits for visible confirmation, will find only delay. The senses may tempt with the illusion of limitation, but to accept limitation is to remain bound by it. The one who dares to believe in the unseen, who persists in the assumption of already having, will see their world reshape itself in perfect alignment with their belief. There is no force that can prevent the fulfillment of a firmly held assumption. The law does not change, does not fail, does not discriminate. It responds only to belief. The riches of the world, the success that seems out of reach for many, are not withheld. They are waiting to be claimed. The only requirement is to assume them as real now, to live and move in the conviction that what is desired is already possessed. The world will call it luck, will attempt to explain it through logic, but those who have applied this truth know that every manifestation first existed in imagination before it became visible. To those who accept this, life becomes a realm of limitless possibility, where every desire is already fulfilled, waiting only to be recognized and claimed. The power is within, always has been, and always will be. The only question is whether one will use it consciously or remain bound by the illusions of the past.